Hi, good evening. It's Susie, and thank you, Concei's always had. She's going to help us tonight. I wanted to wrap up the discussion from Unit 2, and so we're going to just finish up discussion on costing, and this should help lead us into Unit 3. Going to discuss a company I worked with, which was what's referred to as an industrial sewing contractor. So it was a big company that did sewing. They cut and sew, whatever you want to call it. They had a bunch of people that just sewed different products. None of it was clothing. All different products, from utility tents to insulated pizza boxes to moonwalks to there's tags that are on your aircraft that says remove before flight, to backpacks, all different types of items made with like heavy canvas, vinyl, and that type of material. This leads to excellent examples for job cost or process costing. First, using this company as an example for activity-based costing, we can use different activities from their processes that would be used for activity-based costing. Their processes involved with pattern making, sewing, of course, and that would be the man hours for both the pattern making or the sewing. Riveting, there were some products that had the rivets so that they could be attached with, ropes or bungee cords or whatever. Some products were heat welded instead of being sewn together. They were welded together. And so those different processes, or shipping even, those different processes could be used as the activities for the activity-based costing. And as you can see on this example, I have those images. And from the discussion posts, you all have done very well and have a very good understanding of the activity-based costing and what that entails. And I'm very proud of you guys. You've gone in and jumped right in and are understanding the material very well, asking good questions in the discussion posts, and are able to apply it to your everyday life and to situations that you live in and work in, and are doing very well. A lot of people, a lot of students have been very edgy and very hesitant. They've been like, I'm not an accountant, I haven't had accounting, I don't know how this information applies, and they haven't been able to apply it to the everyday life quite as well as all of you have. So you all are doing very well in that. So as we move to the process costing and job costing, you all are doing very well with this as well. And so at this company, just two examples, these utility tents you might see around, a lot of times they cover like the manholes, so that if a person is working underground, that it doesn't rain in, that it kind of covers the manhole so someone doesn't walk by and just fall in. They're used for different purposes. And then also, insulated pizza boxes. I'm sure you haven't seen these before. They're not very common around here. So these are examples of products that they would have done process costing. Every one of them they made is the same. So they can just use process costing, and they know what each one costs, and they can just use, if all the materials together to make 1,000 of them is $12,000, and they can take $12,000 divided by 1,000, and they know it's $1.20 to make. And I think I did that math okay. Haven't been well, so Off the top of my head, I hope that was right. So then another example of costing with a product they make are moonwalks or bouncy houses. Hope that you've seen these. They're kind of fun if you haven't got to use them. Perhaps your children have, or nieces and nephews. At first, they use job costing for all of these because you can see each one's different. They have different shapes, different colors. This one has a slide. This is a pumpkin shape. This one has, different colors. This one has stripes. This one's solid and slightly different. And this one has a flat roof. So they're all different. And this one has entrance that's down here. This one's a split entrance there. And again, this one's a split entrance here. Well, at one point, after evaluation of repeated production, they discovered that this product line of the castles, the differences were not very, there's very slim differences, pretty much just colors. This one is slightly different, the roof is different, so they did put it by itself. They called it a fancy castle because it had the little bit of, it's called dental work in architecture, the dental work roof. But other than that, these two castles are the same. I think the pictures are proportionately make it look different, but they were the same size. But coloration's different. So they changed their method for costing just for sake of efficiency, and all standard castles, no matter the color, they used job cost or process costing, I'm sorry, so that they priced them out the same and they costed them the same. And that made the sales department, that made their job easier, that made parts department, and from the accounting side, it made it easier. And after a few years of this, we realized there was no impact. It was the same to the bottom line because there really was not much difference. You can see this one had a little bit difference in pattern, so it may have taken a little bit more labor, but some of them may have taken a little less labor, or just because they're used to doing this one, it really didn't take that much more labor after all. Because this one has a much wider doorway than this one, it equaled out. And so because they were just minor differences, they decided just to do the castle line altogether. Now that's just up to each individual company whether they want to do that or not. As they started out, they did do each one by itself as job cost, and they continued to do the fancy castle job cost by itself, and the castle with the slide by itself, and the pumpkin by itself, and all the others. They continued to do job cost by themselves, so they could monitor their cost versus profit or versus income, so they knew what the cost was. But this is just an example so that there are situations that, while in the book, and it makes sense that if you have products that are unique that you're going to do job cost, there may be a situation that they're unique, but they are similar enough that you're going to go ahead and do process costing across the board. So I hope this helps, kind of wrap up these concepts and Also, just kind of an intro to, well, this is the concept in the book, and this is the theory that's presented in the book. This is a little bit how real life might do it, and kind of quote, bend the rule, or might do it because it makes it easier, but it's not really, it's not wrong. It's just another way to do it. So I hope this, helps and helps you understand, just another way of how these theories are applied in the real world. So, and again, I think you guys are doing great. Keep up the discussions. Keep encouraging each other to continue the discussions. I know, it seems extra work, but I think that's how we reinforce the theories and the concepts with each other, by questioning each other. Question what each other says, not questioning as in, are you really right, or is that right, but just, keep each other, engaged, and challenge each other, and ask questions about what one another says, and ask them to continue their thought, so we can make sure we completely understand these theories. Some of them will get to be challenging, and so this is one way we can make sure we all have a good understanding. And also remember, one way to make sure you get the maximum points is to reply to my posts. So that is one of the items on the rubrics that you post to at least 2 of your learners and 2 of your instructors' posts. You did great the first week, and then the second week, I didn't have as many responses, so be sure to respond to me. You guys keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you again. Bye.